Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the cafe. I am, as always, your immaculate hostess barista. It's not just my name, it is also my title. Feel free to step up to the counter and place your order. We will bring it to you to sweet. It is once again Monday, start of the generic capitalist work week, but that does not mean it's Monday for you. Monday's more of a concept than anything, I think. Sleepy time hot cocoa, please. You got it. With all the fixins as usual. I just realized I could make that some kind of redeem or something. No, not this time. I didn't think so, but I wanted to make sure. But yeah, it's Monday. Stereotypical start to the work week for a lot of people, but I don't know why I say a lot of people. Most people I know do not follow this typical Monday to Friday 9 to 5 nonsense. Hell, Mondays are my Sundays. If we're going by that mindset. Just hot and cocoa sleepy. Aww. Love that emote, by the way. That hype sleep emote. Yes, you please go take care of yourself and get some rest, okay? As always, whatever shenanigans you miss. I don't know. I feel like I shouldn't say miss. The shenanigans that occur here will always be uploaded in VOD form onto the YouTube channel. But for now, we are back to trial day. Thankfully, this ain't our first rodeo, because we gotta wrangle ourselves a cowboy. Cowboy who knows more than he's letting on, and we gotta wrangle the truth out of it. So once I stop having the hiccups, let's get into it. Now it looks like this trial day, just like the last one, is going to be divided into two parts. Trial former and probably trial ladder. No, not ladder like the climbable ladder versus step ladder debate. At any rate, so we'll see how long this former segment takes us. Like I said, Jesus. Like I said, can't say anything. Bleh. Mondays are spiritually my Sundays. My work week starts tomorrow. So we'll see how long this goes. Actually, you know what? We might just end up cranking both parts of it out today. I don't know. Let's dive right in and find out. February 24th, 9:41 a.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Ha ha ha! Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys! At least nothing bad has really happened to the current one that people talk about the most. I don't know why I'm saying at least. I want the Kennedy curse to catch up! And that's all I'll say about that. How you doing tonight, Monstro? I hope your dizziness from last time has subsided a little bit despite events. You know, I feel like I could be wrong about who we're calling to the stand for this part of the trial. Switch to Linux? No. I do not want to, and you cannot make... Despite my refusal, too late, I already installed Linux on your PC. You sure that was my PC? Everything's just fine on this one. I just put a window skin on it. You skinned alive a poor defenseless windows for this? Can't kill the vibes with what happened today, but it was a day. Glad your streaming's helping keep my mind off of it. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's at least some kind of distraction for you. Yes. How dare you skin a poor innocent Windows? That Windows had a family. You know, 95, Vista, XP. They had names before they had numbers. The Windows had it coming. But that's where my air conditioners are too, in my windows. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. Yeah, I feel like... I don't know what's happening. I also feel like I pegged the wrong witness. As for who we're going to be cross-examining today, at least in this part of the trial, so... Oops. Synchronized my files to OneDrive when I said I didn't want to use OneDrive. I had no choice. Right, fair enough. OneDrive's a fucking bitch. The same thing except he got caught. Yeah. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. But you're not even gonna acknowledge your fucking sister. Damn. Hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. You must work on really hard cases, then. So, how'd it go? As Mr. Wright suspects, the police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. But Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye? We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belong to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. Yeah, that's it. Yep. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, you're going to accuse Mr. Marshall? Yeah, give me that, cowboy. You have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Yeah, because, like, at the end of the last, at the end of the investigation, we were like, oh, we got Jake Marshall fingerprints, and they're bloody, we gotta do something about this. That's why I assume he was gonna be the first one that got called today, but I could be wrong, because they're probably gonna bring in the other guy with his fucking mega horn and the loud screeching, and everybody's gonna hate it. February 24th, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution is... Edgeworth, I don't think that's not giving anything. That is, as the kids say, such a nothing burger. That's what the kids say, right? Pretty sure that's what the kids say. Anyway. No, goddammit, it would help if I wasn't accidentally tabbing out of things. Stop it.
I'm afraid you'll have to clarify.
Smash. Yes, we know.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office.
Edgeworth has a migraine, that's why he's pressing on his temple. Yeah, probably. With all the shenanigans that have gone on in this case,
I'm surprised that's just not the pose he is, like, permanently stuck in. Not the judge, Edgeworth. Yeah, you can have Edgeworth. We've seen my previous activities. Alright, back to sleep I go. Alright, Nova. Like I said, I feel like we might be calling the freaking traffic cop guy with the mega horn, so, you might want to turn things down just so you don't get bamboozled by the loudness of that. I don't know exactly how loud it comes through on your guys' end. I did turn it down a little bit, so hopefully that helps, but, there's only so much I can do against a high-pitched, whining, screeching sound. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? Already planning to. Good. What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. At least your mic isn't reverbing from the screeching. Thank goodness for headphones. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car. Alright, who are the most famous magicians of this world? We'll call them and we'll get their professional testimony on it. Wow, this is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. And that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself. Does Chris Angel count? I don't know if Chris Angel exists in Ace Attorney. And that's supposed to be an admirable trait? Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand. For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department. The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer? Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Listen, if the later games are... Oh, there he is. Listen, if you have any knowledge of the later games, you do... Lupin the Third looking ass. Listen, that's an insult to Lupin to say that Meekins looks like him, honestly. Meekins is just a little guy who tries his best. And that's all I can say about that. But to finish my thought before we get into whatever skullfuckery is about to happen, there is a magic troupe that features prominently in some of the, the later games. So we could call them. We're not going to, though, because we're not doing that, I guess. Anyway, how you doing, Des? Good to see you. Always happy to see you. It would be so much better if I could stop yawning. Des looks more like Lupin than Meekins. I could kind of see it. Desk the Third. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Alright, listen you. We're listening, Desk. Times Monster out for 10 million years? No! I am preemptively hydrating myself because, Meekins' voice is very silly. Anyway. Yes, sir! I am Officer Mike Meekins, sir! My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir! My face capture is not detailed enough to show that I am making the exact same face as Phoenix right now. Just, oh. So you're telling us you're a professional killer? Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. What would you call Edgeworth's neck scarf? It's not an ascot. Well, in the game, everybody calls it a cravat, but that's not what it's actually called. A cravat is slightly different than what he actually wears. What he actually wears is called a jabbet. Everybody calls it C-R-A-V-A-T. But compared to real world things, that's not... It's similar, but that's not exactly what it is. What he actually wears is a J-A-B-O-T. A jabbet. A jabot. I don't know. Maybe they thought cravat sounded more elegant and more suiting of him. I don't know. I'm just a barista. I'm not a fucking fashion... I'm just a barista. I'm not a fashionista. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You've got to believe me, sir. Actually, what we'd like to hear from you is... Sir, I'm what you would call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend. Bro, aren't you in your 20s? What are you going on about? Alright, hang on. You stay back there. Yeah, he's only 22. He's only 2 years younger than Edgeworth. Which means, presumably, he's only 2 years younger than me. Anyway. Me meaning Phoenix. Not me, barista. A lady never reveals her age. Wink! I have my eye tracking set to blink simultaneously. I can't wink, so just imagine me winking. Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir. Officer Meekins. Yes, sir! Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. God damn it. Can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. That's about the only thing you cannot fault him for. Crime report, sir! It's Morse code. Barista saying she wants matcha tea. Yummy! Thank you for that. I actually do have a bit of matcha that I just have to make up at some point. If I were to do that, though, I would need I'd need to get some milk. I don't have milk, though. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake. Oh, dear. So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you? Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir. I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness. Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir. No wonder your head's like flat on multiple sides. People keep slapping you. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination. What I need here is more information to work with. Well, I guess that just means we're gonna press everything. Well, it's not my normal duty. I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. Well, isn't that normally Jake's job? Tell me about that. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir! I am in charge of hiring new recruits, sir! Yikes! Now there's a scary thought. Evidence transfer was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir! The Blue Badger? Yes, sir! The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir! I
was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir. I see. Sounds like a very, important mission. After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. Oh, so that's why you went to the evidence room. Tell us. What did you see when you got there?
That thing creeps me out. What? I think the Blue Badger's okay. What really freaks me out is like that prototype Blue Badger stuffy that you see when you go into the police department that's sitting on the desk that just has like pure black eyes. No, thank you. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen. Okay, tell me about that. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I right?
Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck.
So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right?
There it is! I found it! This is the one right here. Could you please read us the number? Yes, sir! It's 498-9596. That's my number, sir!
I see. Huh? But the number 498-9596 is shown as being used twice. Yeah. Also, just a heads up, folks, we do have a 90-second ad break coming up momentarily. Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down. I see. So it was during the second time when... Yes, sir! That was when I spotted the man on the security screen.
Okay. So we kind of already figured that out based on what we had previously been told, but it's nice to have it officially updated. Only what I was trained to do, I was suddenly attacked. So, you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you?
It was a knife, sir! A knife! Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then? Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was.
You aren't exactly the kind of person someone will want to run into.
Phoenix, what does that mean? That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him.
Well, if you're just flailing around like a freaking God knows what, no wonder you're not gonna detain him. You're just gonna slap him a little bit.
That's how I got this gash on my hand.
Maybe if you just kept your cool, your hand wouldn't be...
When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. I fought for my life, then I did it.
What exactly do you mean when you say you did it?
I know I don't look like the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him.
You took his knife.
I spun around and performed a disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man.
I see. Must have been desperate.
The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew... Yes? He punched me right in my face, sir. After that, I passed out, till another officer smacked me awake.
Okay. About what time did you regain consciousness?
No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious.
Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying, tears of pain. That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is. When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir.
Yep. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Oh, we can all rest easy now. I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened. Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point. Yes, Officer Meekins. With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. What the fuck you gonna do with a goddamn videotape? Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir. I see. The chief delivered it? What is that? A videotape? Yes, sir! That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room. How do you know that? Is that what it says on the side and I just can't read it? Well, I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased. That's quite a mistake. I just do what I'm told, sir. That's the only thing I'm really good at. VHS tapes in 2017? Wild. The fact that that is the actual... that is, like, the date of this series of events. Yes. I don't know if you just shot out a random number, but yes. Canonically, 2017 is when this case is happening. Because it shortly follows one of the only events that we ever get, like, specific dates for. We only ever get, like, a specific date with a year attached to DL6. And from there, that's when we sort of extrapolate when everything else in the entire Ace Attorney series happens. Because this case is only 2 months after the resolution of DL6, which happened in 2016. So again, I don't know if you were just spouting out a random number or if you knew this, but, yes! Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever. Well then, let's have a look. Knew the year, but don't remember the cases. It's been forever since I played it. Gotcha. Show us the video of you murdering the victim. Oh, please stop using that word, murder, sir. It scares me. Video of a real murder. So what are we getting ourselves into? We're getting ourselves into fucking footage of the Blue Badger, I guess. Aren't there supposed to be multiple cameras? Why is this all we're getting? Okay, a guy in a trench coat walking by. Do 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 do. Guy opens the locker. We can't see his face. It kind of looked like the locker was, like, open before he even opened it, because the light looked like it was on. Or maybe I just looked at it wrong. Anyway, show me your ID, sir. Bitch, no. Oh, he's got a knife. Throwing him around. Covered in blood. He's going back. We ain't seeing shit. Oh, there's Meekins, out for the count. If I had money, I would absolutely commission somebody. And we don't see the other guy leave. If I had the money, I would absolutely commission somebody to do barista doing the fucking Blue Badger dance. Because every time the music starts playing, I just start vaguely going along with it. Oh no, poor Edgeworth. Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us? Judge? Yeah, what do you mean? So that was his blood on the floor. Maybe. I mean, we found like a gob shit ton of blood, though. Not enough to have just come from a cut on the hand, I think. Maybe. I don't know. What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? That's the blue badger. He's a little weird, but it's okay. Sir, that is the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. It's the blue badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly? Because, Phoenix, if it was a trial of yours and it was going smoothly, you want to know what that means? It's the tutorial case. That's about the only time any trial goes relatively smoothly for you. Is when it's the tutorial case. Security video added to the court record. Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter, someone in the evidence room, and some sort of, activity did take place. Judge, that is... that is a word that you have picked. Activity. Yeah, they're just engaging in some knife fights, little sword battling. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir! As you wish, sir! Mystery Man. Insert Gaster sound effect here. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. I don't know, something crazy. These games saw a spike in law enrollment of prestigious... Huh. That is pretty interesting. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. Okay. And, how do you know that specifically? So it must be him. No one else could have done it. Okay. What's this about a fingerprint? Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to. Intriguing. That would mean the victim of the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Again, I'm not so sure about that. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination. I don't know where this cross-examination will lead. Everything begins with contradictions, so that's where I have to start. Mystery Man. Face can't be seen. There's no question. Required his fingerprint. Locker he opened is his. Must be him, no one else could have unlocked it. I mean, are you sure? There could be a way. However, the most important detail is not shown in this video, the man's face. It would help if I wasn't accidentally hitting the wrong buttons again. Sir! If I may say something, sir! Please do. After all, you are the one being examined. I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir. Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie. That is... unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Is there a problem with the security video? I mean, I have to say there's a problem so I can at least go through with this. Regarding the video contained on this tape, There is one thing in particular that seems rather strange. Strange? This contradiction leads to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. He would want me to point it out.
Very well, proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us the contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright! It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Oh, thank God. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman?
It's right here. It's the Blue Badger. Oh. Actually, wait. Hold on. I was right. The light's already on, which means the locker's already open. Excuse me? Objection? The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir! Do you mean me, sir? No, the other Officer Meekins that's in the fucking audience. As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. Apparently, it plays the Blue Badger music. When you grab the handle, a sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture.
Look at this light!
How long are we going to watch it? When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier. Can we rewind a little faster, please? It's not that I'm not enjoying the Blue Badger music. I really am. But, like, I don't got all day, people. Here, notice the light? Phoenix, you could have just paused it there like I did.
What's this? It's already lit.
Precisely my point. Is that a blood smear on the Blue Badger? No, his paint job's just a little fucky. Just above the eye. No, I'm pretty sure it's just yeah, see? You can see it even in the little preview thing. Handprint, his paint job's a little fucked up. He's not completely filled in correctly. He's a labor of love, let's put it that way. Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle. Ah!
Order, order. What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked. Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh well, it just goes to show how novices should keep their mouths shut.
You know, there's a lot to be said about people of a certain age basically controlling the way that society runs at this point. You know, people in power all being at least in their, like, 60s. Well, not all of them, obviously, but, like, a lot of them. The judge being a man of advanced and indeterminate age. Fucking the chief of police, Gant, is 65. The rest of this tangent goes on. I was watching an episode of Judge Judy earlier. Like, I was at my in-laws, I was visiting. And she had Judge Judy on. I'm pretty sure Judge Judy is in, like, her late 70s or, like, early 80s at this point. And she was talking about how she at least knows the Instagram is for pictures. I was thinking to myself, it was one of those, I was just sitting there in such disbelief, like, really? Congratulations, Grandma, you know a modern app? Vaguely? It was just one of those things I was sitting there like, man. There wasn't really a follow-up thought to that. Anyway.
So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor? It's always gotta be me.
Yes.
She's 82. Yeah! She's 82, and she was quite proud of the fact that she at least knew Instagram was for pictures. Now, granted, I don't know how recently this episode was filmed or whatever, but I imagine it was somewhat recently. The fact that she's still on the goddamn air. Presumably. I don't know. I haven't looked into the airtime of Judge Judy lately.
Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Yes, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor? Something jammed the sensor? Say, there's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't...
Oh, God. Oh, cool, we can do frame by frame. Oh, look at that. Didn't we find a glove? Like, hanging out at the crime scene? Tagged evidence from the SL9 incident, extremely thin rubber glove. That's probably exactly what this is. Because Goodman was in charge of SL9. Maybe he went to, like, close it earlier or something. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier. I can't decide if it's better or worse that you're not giving me Blue Badger music this time. Hang on, I've got just the thing to remedy this.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when doors are open. I often fall out and roll great distances with... Oh. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
Okay, we're done. The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
Yes, Judge. Inserted. Why are you hesitating? What's the problem? Oh, hang on. Music reminded me of the YouTube trope of X happens while happy music plays.
This is something of a throwback to when I was playing Coffee Talk and Coffee Talk Episode 2. There was a particular character that would show up, and whenever they showed up, just always random and silly shit would happen, so this was the music that we associated with them. Which reminds me, let's also throw in some raves while we're at it. Yeah. Anyway, this white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor.
Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir.
The fact that you have a license and can drive a patrol vehicle.
Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me. But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator. Yes, an insulator, but at the crime scene,
there just might have been something that fits the description.
But sir, by insulator, you don't mean...
I think I finally got this figured out.
Very well, will the defense please present the relevant evidence? What was this insulator that was stuck inside the locker door?
The glove, obviously, you ding-dongs. I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins?
Sir, it would appear so, sir! Order, order, order! So are we to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more.
The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman.
The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this.
Sir! Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir.
Is this a joke?
Very well, begin your testimony.
Mystery Man. 2!
There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
Okay.
An ID card record, I see. I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID
used at 514 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime? Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end. Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination.
Mystery Man 2. One must use their ID card. When ID card is used, there's a record of it. Detective had used his card. Did not mean to press, but okay. Earlier, I believe that you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir! He didn't show me any ID card, sir! Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show them what we've got. I was going to, Emma. I just hit the wrong button. Because we know for a fact that Goodman probably lost his ID that day. Or at least he had some kind of something that he lost. Maybe he lost his ID. Because we found the ID. I think it'll say it. Yeah, it was found at the prosecutor's office crime scene. Excuse me. Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. By the time that moment is up, we'll be hitting another ad break. So just a heads up for that. Another 90-second ad coming up in about a minute or so. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It is a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Oh, lost item report? It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess, you believe this something to be his ID card, right?
Can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card. Yeah, and maybe he went in there earlier with whoever that 777777 card is. Or maybe he like ran into the chief. He was like, "Hey chief, I gotta get this case all wrapped up. Can I submit my lost item report?" And he was probably like,
"Oh, I'll go with you."
Some shit. I don't fucking know. It could just be a guest pass, like the one that they gave to me and Emma.
Order, order. So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require that much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order, order, order! Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense.
Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Bravo.
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes? What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is indeed a fake, then the murder in the evidence room is also a fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
That is... well, I guess that's right. Damn it, ad break made me miss my window to point out something about the mystery man. And what's that?
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago you seemed content to be pointing your finger around.
This isn't going to end well.
Well, well, it seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove. Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth. The defense has already done the explaining for me.
He's wearing the tie Gant is wearing. Are you sure? 'Cause I thought it looked like he was wearing the same tie and trench coat and everything that Goodman usually wears.
The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place at the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime. So the real crime could only take place at one location. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
Ah!
I knew that testimony was way too shabby.
It was all a trap from the beginning.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered.
Is this for the photo you're talking about? Because, like... apart from the pact, we can't see his face. This basically looks like him. Yeah, no, Gant's tie that makes him breasts so boobily is like cross-shaped with a thing in the middle. Yeah, this thing. I think that's like the symbol of the police department or something. I think Jake has it on his poncho. The tie is what sticks out for me. This is the same tie that Bruce Goodman usually wears. You can see the polka dots and everything. So, whoever went and dressed up as him went to the lengths to make sure they looked like him. Like, about the only thing that the person couldn't/didn't change was their own face. And that's why they attacked poor Meekins.
Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is only to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something, or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get out of this mess? Well, obviously we gotta raise some kind of objection. One moment, Your Honor.
What now, Mr. Wright?
Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. No, of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap.
What are you talking about?
This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Yeah, that's about it. We just got shown the fact that Meekins got beat the hell up. I'd fail as a defense attorney. I mean, if you really put your mind to it, I don't think you would. But I know you're really setting your mind to being a nurse and getting your, and moving up in the ranks with that, so I'm sure you're great at that. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor?
If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared? I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Mr. Wright, do you mean? Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness. Oh, whom do you have in mind? Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. Prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply. Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify, what is their name?
I mean, a certain Texas Ranger. Get along.
Officer Jake Marshall. Why him?
Can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare. Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
Yay, I'm gonna go play on the swing sets. I just found out there's an anime based on the games. Yes, there is. I'm pretty sure there's also an anime exclusive case that they have. I have no idea what it's about, but I'm pretty sure there is one. February 24th, 11:32 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2.
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright?
Huh? What do you mean?
You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you've figured everything out.
I haven't figured anything out.
Lana!
You're the one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection. I'm a strong, independent woman who don't need no man.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later.
Oh, he looks so sad. Gumshoe, come back.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run around all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals.
Sorry, Detective.
You better be, pal. Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky.
That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked?
Oh. You mean this, right?
Jesus, what did you bring me? The fucking copy and a half of Anna Karenina? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request.
My name?
Help! Identity theft!
Never in a million years would I have thought that it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy.
SL9 incident? But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them.
I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor, were a witness in that case.
Miss Sky was a witness? SL9 incident files received from Lana Sky. Files for the Joe Dark killing, solved 2 years ago. Imagine how long it would take to photocopy all that, right? Even if you put it in one of those things that you can just feed it and it'll copy it, it would still take a while.
Take it from me, you don't want anything to do with the serial murders. Oh what, now that I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know. Unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number for the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No. No, Lana! That's over with! No! Emma, wait! She ran away. You know what? I just remembered I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings from 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. To be continued. Well, you know what? I'm feeling ripe and raring to go. And I want to see the Texas Ranger, so... I am, however, going to take a quick little break to get up, refresh my drinks, grab a snack or something. I recommend you all do the same. You know, just get up. Or, you know, get away from wherever you're at. Do some kind of stretches if you're able to. Readjust your seating position, your laying position, however your position, make a minor adjustment. I don't know, just get some kind of something in there. And we'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll see you then.
Welcome back. I hope you all had a nice little break. Hope you got some snacks, got something to drink, went to the bathroom. Whatever you all needed to do. Let's just get back into it. Oh, welcome into the cafe. Thank you very much for the follow. Do appreciate you swinging by. Feel free to step up to the counter and place your order. We will have that ready for you too. Sweet. Despite being in court, I cannot slack on my duties. Hello. Hello, Kiwi. How are you tonight? I hope you're doing well. Thank you for coming by. We are out here playing Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. You're good? Good. I'm glad to hear that. Right now we are on Case 5 of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, so if this is something that you've been wanting to play for yourself, or if you've been interested in trying, I recommend doing that. Because we're just charging ahead, spoilers and everything. February 24th, 12:14 p.m. District Court, Courtroom Number 9.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Skye.
Emma didn't come back. Yeah, she found out that the SL9 incident was also another name for the Joe Dark killings, which I guess she was a witness to? Let's actually look at the file. Yeah, we got like 8,000 stacks of paper. Incident number SL9. Closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark. Crime, serial murder. Sentence, death. Victims, Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, and Neil Marshall. Marshall, huh? I feel... Other than, obviously, Jake Marshall, I feel like we've heard this name before, too. That's something we'll have to keep in mind. Trial data, head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witnesses Lana Skye and Emma Skye. Yeah, Emma was a witness. Investigation Task Force. Executive investigators Damon Gant, Lana Skye, head investigator Bruce Goodman, investigators Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. Yeah, Angel was saying something about how after this case was closed, basically everybody, well, mostly meaning her and Jake, they got the shaft somehow. Like, Jake got demoted back to a patrolman, she was fired. They didn't do anything to Bruce, he was still a detective, but apparently he didn't really do much anyways. There's something's amiss with this. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Sir, you're in court. You probably shouldn't be drinking here. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Me, partner? I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization. Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know. You're a patrolman.
Sir, I'm sure you have drained that flask multiple times already. Do you keep multiple on you? It could be water in the flask. Maybe, but the implication that it's a flask implies some harder stuff. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind call it out. I don't think that's a very nice term to describe lovers, Mr. Marshall. To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edgeworth described that way before. Oh.
Oh. Oh, I think I just accidentally created a rare pair if people don't already ship it. Edgeworth and Marshall, apparently. You know what? I can see it a little bit. Never mind. Anyway. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day the crime took place. Is this correct? And now you're shaving. Sir. I think you're decent. You're pretty easy on the eyes. You're pretty decent to look at, but your behavior is very unfitting for court. That's real rich coming from me, who's motorboated everybody in the room. Except for, you know what? Never mind. We're not gonna talk about that. According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? Desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain old English.
It's a better love story than the DL6 case. Yes, there's no love in that case. The only love in DL6 is the culmination of the ultimate hate ship of Gregory Edgeworth and Manfred von Karma. The day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at a street side saloon on the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail. I'll hit your trail.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you won't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Burn? Yeah, I guess Jake's not a facial hair kind of guy. That's why he keeps his trimmed down. Or maybe he just doesn't like how long the judge's beard is. Do we have a profile for the... I did not mean to look at my badge. Is this what it's like to talk to Phoenix? Just badge. Okay, no, we don't have a profile for the judge. I wonder what he thinks of Gant's beard with his seashell-looking ass. Also, just a heads up, folks, we do have another 90-second ad coming up momentarily. Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? He's not being very helpful. At the same time, I feel like he could be telling the truth that he doesn't know about that, because Gumshoe straight up told us there are people on the force who don't know about that. Who don't know about the fingerprint lock. He's not that good with machines or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
What, just because he's trouble, you're gonna just hand him over to me? You want me to try to wrangle him? Is that what's happening here? Wary eye on that bone orchard. Make rounds 3 times a day. 2 security systems. I was at a street side saloon the time it went down. No. No, you weren't. Because we have a bloody handprint of yours on your locker. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? Ooh. What is this? A stare down, showdown at high noon? You know what? 2 can play at this game. Alright, hang on. Bet. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Ha! Did not expect that, did you? And it happened during an ad break, so nobody could see it. Or did they? Anyway. You saw it? Oh no! Oh no, there were witnesses! Oh, that's fine. That's fine. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. More moaning Barenix. I mean, I outright said last time that the next time, that whenever we got Jake Marshall on the stand, it was totally gonna be his turn. So, yes. Yes, it is. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, I make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood. Ooh, how you doing? He got the spurs! Boots with the spurs, am I right?
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall, Phoenix, you're pointing it the wrong way. You're just gonna spray yourself with luminol. It seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. Huh? I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall, about the bloodstained fingerprints.
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints.
Found at the scene of the crime. Oh, pardon me. Blood-stained fingerprints. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. Sir, I don't think that's how that works. Murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? I mean, you're wearing gloves of a sort. See, I had nothing to do with it.
The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. And now is my chance to prove it. Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. Okay. Tell me why. That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. And one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now is a heap of broken dreams. And whatever that fabric thing that's sticking out of it is. I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from that locker's programming. Well, I mean, it makes sense, because they keep talking about evidence transferal. It takes place every 2 years. He was only demoted to patrolman, like, around 2 years ago, so now would be the time where they would probably cycle him out. If I had to guess. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Okay. So something else that's weird to me. Didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? Okay, how do you know that? You just saying shit? How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports. There was a bloodstain on the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right, it was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion. You starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? This seal of blood in the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
Too bad it wasn't me in that video, right, partner? You know, when you put it like that, I'm now somewhat convinced that it was. Just by you saying, like, haha. Jake's over here like he's pulling his Shaggy impression. Wasn't me, partner. Left a bloodstained handprint in the evidence room? Wasn't me. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
But you telling me... Never mind. Places you can't see. Camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright. Well, Mr. Wright, you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present. Please do so now.
Okay. Bah. I'm sure there's something there if they keep alluding that there is. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake. Shut up!
Now then, let's have another look at this video.
Look at this videotape. Shows incriminating evidence of the witness. So I think it has something to do with his locker. Because his locker's right all the way here on the end. Like, it's not jammed open, there's no bloody handprint, nothing. He opens that locker. Still nothing. He attacks, there's blood. Still nothing. Meekins is down for the count. See? There it is. Cloth is sticking out of his locker now. Since the coat was covered in blood, he probably took it off and shoved it in there without even knowing about the fingerprint part.
And we saw it when we went to the evidence room. We saw the coat hanging out like that. Gumshoe was complaining that they get on his case about leaving stuff hanging out of his locker. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. Days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
That locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit. Can we rewind it at double speed, though? I guess not.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone.
Yeah, which means he put it there. Which is how he can be quote-unquote seen in the video.
What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
Oh, it means I just burped very uncomfortably. Give me a sec.
Oh. Oh, that was mighty uncomfortable.
Whew! I'm okay. When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then, it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away. Which would make sense. Phoenix already sort of mentioned that anybody who was familiar with it would know the camera's patterns. So, Marshall being the guard, he probably knew when the camera was panning around and around. He just ducked under it. You know, opened his locker, shoved the coat in, closed it, and left before the camera panned back. That's my thought. Boots with the spurs!
Order, order. It would seem that...
Whoa. Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. Man, I picked a hell of a day to go and watch, like, Gunsmoke at my in-laws' place today. Oh, and I got this guy to deal with now? Sheesh. He edited the camera footage in Microsoft Studio on the Vista. I think the technology for this is a little more outdated than that. Because it's a straight up videotape. He would probably have to splice it out frame by frame. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. Yes, it does. Jake. Buddy. Sweetheart. Save those for later. Murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. Not my fault he happened to choose mine. Yeah, this is just going back to the thing that not everybody who had a locker knew about the fingerprint lock, especially Jake, who is very technologically, I don't want to say illiterate, but let's just say he's not operating on the latest operating system when it comes to technology knowledge. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? I mean, I want you, but that's beside the point. This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I call you bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it. Shit, where's the... Do we still have the evidence locker thing that shows that demonstrates the fingerprint? Yeah, only the assigned detectives' prints can unlock it. Jake, buddy? A fingerprint sensor? Ooh, he getting sweaty over there. He operates on Windows 95 when everybody else is up to Windows 10. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, that's about where the disparity lies, I think. We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? Oh, damn, Phoenix, get him. Oh, girl, you got beef jerky now? What the fuck you doing? I only got one win for you, partner. No! Girl, it's okay. Not everybody needs to know everything about technology all the time.
Order, order, order! Witness, explain yourself.
If this is a joke, it's the worst one I ever heard. I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Sir, that beef jerky must be shit if you can't tear it apart like that.
Olay, please answer the question.
Sir! Oh, you're pretending you're a bullfighter now! No! Jeez. This entire court's a sham. I'm out of here. I can't do this right now. Fucking Olay. What the fuck? Damn, what the hell? What is he now, a bullfighter? Thank you, Phoenix. Finally, somebody with at least a little bit of sense around here other than me. The fact that it's you. That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure the rest out from here.
We can?
I don't know if you can, Senor Bullfighter. Fucking Mr. Matador over here.
Toro, olay, olay.
Wait, where's your fucking cape? You're just gonna steal Edgeworth's coat and use that instead? Jesus. Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall. I mean, he did, but like...
If that's so, then where was the witness?
Seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right, the only possible conclusion. Well then, let's hear it.
Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime? Well, if we're operating under the assumption that Meekins is still the killer, and Jake dressed as Goodman is the victim, then he's right here. Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Yeah. Allegedly. Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you, dressed up like Detective Goodman. I mean, I'd pay to see that. I bet he'd look pretty snappy.
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed the detective at this crime scene.
I mean, he witnessed somebody. He didn't know who he was witnessing.
Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted.
When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir.
Yes, and how did Detective Goodman respond?
He suddenly pulled the knife on me.
Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card. Yes, he looks very handsome in this gray square.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Girl, your jerky is dry as hell. You need help with that. You got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence.
Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to make a detective. Unless you have hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
I mean, that's the second time you've said something about it, so clearly you're complaining, sir. Clearly you have strong opinions about the beard.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that.
I could see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat.
Ah! This can't be happening. No, Phoenix, calm down. It's okay. It's okay.
It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Yes?
It looks like your lack of experience has finally— Ah!
Was that really called for?
Hi. Hi, desk. Thanks for throwing me. I had a very good view of the courtroom proceedings. Marshall's hat? Pretty sure it's only an 8-gallon hat, not a 10-gallon hat. But you didn't hear that from me. Or you did, I don't know. Hope you're doing okay, desk. Mwah. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. Edgeworth, you talking about exposing me in court? Sir? Sir. This is a court of law. We must conduct ourselves professionally here.
I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you've run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics?
For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me.
Phoenix, try thinking outside of the box.
I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise. Rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place? What do you mean? There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance that it might be discovered later as it has been.
It means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
I think I know.
If I could stop yawning, that would be fantastic.
what we saw in the video, we sort of see the part where Meekins' hand gets cut. And he reaches back for his assailant, and the coat just gets absolutely drenched in blood. Which, if, you know, Marshall dressed up as Goodman walks out and he's just covered in blood, that'd be pretty fucking suspicious. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
It's the coat. Perhaps. Perhaps the video is the key to all our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape. After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker.
Okay, here we go. Okay, so he slices at him. Meekins lunges back. Yeah, look at that. He, like, reached back, grabbed the assailant by the shoulders. The hand with the cut left a shit ton of blood. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end. Yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. Okay, so here's a question. Like, presumably Jake would have his own ID card. Why didn't he just show him that? Like, just because Goodman wears, like, a distinctive uniform and whatever. And Jake obviously wears a distinctive uniform. That doesn't mean that they wear it all the fucking time. Like, he could have worn something different that day. Why didn't Jake just show his own ID? Maybe he got flustered because, oh shit, somebody actually walked in on him doing whatever he was doing. Just a heads up, we do have another ad break coming up momentarily. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner.
Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, you were only half as persistent then as you are today. We all wouldn't have to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. Seems the time has come. Marshall's confession. I had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out and managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15. You know, it was just you knocking Meekins' shit in.
So the supposed victim was really you?
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be? Officer Meekins managed to cut his own hand. I guess as he's the donor. There's way too much blood for such a small donation. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So something else might have happened. Marshall's confession. Had to do it that day. I couldn't just stand by and let it die. Alright, so I want to know more about everything this man has just said to me. When you say it, you mean... You even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident. 2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day. Not if I had anything to do with it. That incident's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time, no matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? Like I said, one of the victims on there had the same last name, so he probably has a real personal connection to it. Like a family member of some kind probably was one of the victims. I don't know, maybe his dad or his brother, or some male relative of closeness, if I had to guess just by the name. And how passionate he is. About how adamant he is. That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him, planned to take out the evidence. Okay, tell me more. Why did you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? If I didn't make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal, I'd be arrested for stealing evidence, which wouldn't get me anywhere.
So you did it to fool the security camera. And the detective's ID card?
I saw that the morning of the incident. Which would explain why the day of he started filling out that lost item report. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor in the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So, essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean the fingerprint-activated lock, of course.
Yep. Small bomb.
No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker yourself.
But he could because a rubber glove just happened to get stuck in the door. That means Detective Goodman must have opened the locker before Officer Marshall.
I wasn't expecting Officer Meekins. I knocked him out.
Yeah, that was actually pretty funny. You pulled a knife on Officer Meekins and tried to drive him off?
Let's just say I was a little surprised. I wasn't planning on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time. Officer Meekins certainly is a 1 in a million type of person.
Wow, sir, do you really mean that, sir? That is such a compliment as I have never received, and especially coming from someone with your authority, Mr. Judge, sir.
Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown his ID. I'll have to think a little more about his raise this year.
When did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. Sorry it had to turn out that way. Me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife?
Oh, you mean this one?
You stabbed at a man, cut a man, and now you're... Sir, I hope you take care of that thing, otherwise that's gross. It's still kind of gross, but still. I don't know what to say. Me either, Phoenix.
So you knocked Officer Meekins out, and?
Managed to escape.
I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera.
So, you did your research beforehand?
Those who go in the desert unprepared don't live for long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. Security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left. However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekins. Someone was in the security room when I came out, the jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there.
What was Officer Meekins doing during that time?
Being unconscious. He got knocked the fuck out!
As they say.
You got knocked the fuck out, man! What else? He was sleeping like a baby. So what you're saying is, on that day, there wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place.
What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole the evidence from the locker?
Actually, no, I didn't.
Why not?
When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
What? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor. Except for whatever stuff that we have at this point, like the knife and the glove. Not that knife. Yeah, we've got the knife and the glove. And that's the jar. That's about all we have. Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Far away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer.
Why did you do this?
Stealing a detective's ID, injuring a police officer. This is no small offense. Moreover, you're an officer yourself. This will have serious consequences. You can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary. Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has an unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
I can't just forget the SL9 incident. You know why? I'm gonna just present the file because I feel like that's probably what it is. The victim who has the same last name. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. But it's the quenchiest! I have the SL9 incident file right here. The name Marshall is mentioned in here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man? Neil Marshall. Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. Oh! He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award. Now I remember. Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did. That's right. He was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother. Yep. I remember looking at that picture that had, like, the SL9 detectives. You could see Neil from the back. And, like, you can make a fair
a fair assumption that they probably were some kind of relation just because he was also wearing a cowboy hat. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, the then Deputy Chief of Police. Yeah, this one. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. They were desperate to prosecute the killer. Oh yeah, there he is. You know, I am significantly less jump scared by this guy than that one thing of Von Karma that happened last time. I don't know. Maybe it's just this guy isn't looking directly into the camera. Like he's looking slightly off sides or something. Like, yeah, it's a bit creepy and unsettling, but it's not, it's Manfred Von Karma, front-facing Manfred Von Karma, he's gonna fucking get you. Ugh. Joe Doc. My brother fought Doc and was killed. That was the first time Doc left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Doc. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
And that's it. That's your reason for your insane actions.
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened at the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence. Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekins confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled. Yes, this mystery has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. Or, as Jake keeps saying, specifically, no murder took place at 5:15. Things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department. That is pretty wild timing. Chance? It's gotta be more than that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, this means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye. Wait! A verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial. Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today. But there's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remain the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department. Seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner.
All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved. No doubt about it.
I'm pressing X to doubt. Because, for one thing, there's still that number on the ID record that's blank. So, like, who is that? Is that where the suspiciously large amount of blood came from? We don't know. A sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Skye. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Starr is completely incontestable. If you have a response, make it a single word or less. Ah!
I rest my case. It seems this trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't need to waste my time disproving the alleged murder at the police department. God damn it. There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant.
Hold it! Oh, hi, Emma. It's a good thing I accidentally used your voice anyway. Your Honor, wait! Emma! The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right? What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright, are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense. Please, Your Honor, all I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please.
I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Oh, never let it be said that Edgeworth isn't generous. I was kind of in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dart killings. Now that she mentions it, the name of both Sky Sisters were in that file. But that's when I figured it out. I mean, what Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprint had nothing to do with the crime. That it left only one thing, the other handprint.
You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker? But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So I ran over there and looked at it again.
So did you find something?
No. Huh? Sorry, I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
And I'm just a barista. But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them, please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy. Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright, with regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain? It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this?
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be of more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing? I mean, there must be something wrong with it. So the blue badger is right in the way of Gumshoe's locker. We can't see in the video if there's any handprint on it. But at the same time, that also means the blue badger was in the way. So you couldn't get access to that. So you couldn't get access to that when the blue badger was there. So between 4:50 and 5:14, that handprint could not have been left. So it was likely it either happened either when Edgeworth was there, like in that small 10-minute interval, or more likely whenever this first thing happened. Because it had to have happened before the blue badger was there. this handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction. The only thing that seems clear is your grasping, Mr. Wright.
You've been staring pretty intently at those floor plans. Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yep. Something that, when drawn, will completely change the meaning of the blood mark.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing in the floor plans?
It's gotta be the blue badger, because he was the one blocking off the entire thing. What about that piece of plywood? Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well,
what?
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing there, it would be impossible to place a handprint at this spot on the locker. What? Girl, calm down. No need to sweat so much. It's okay.
So that means, just exactly what does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found on that locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there. Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically. I am. It's not my fault the judge is a fucking idiot. Who needs everything spelled out A, B, C? You put a B before the A and everything just goes to fucking shit. Emma, on that afternoon, Officer Meekins was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker. So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
May sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once but twice. But how? One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekins cut his hand, from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is the other time.
Yeah, when we found like a metric shit ton of blood.
Someone bled prior to the struggle shown on this tape. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
Oh shit.
We coming up with new theories now, Phoenix? Is that what we doing?
I mean...
Thank you for the hydrate, Medi. I really needed that. So this is something. So Phoenix is making the theory that Goodman was in fact murdered at the police department and then somehow made his way over to the prosecutor's office where his body was found being stabbed by Lana. Okay. Let's play.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker. Or, again, the gigantic blood traces that we found all over the floor. So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show evidence that proves when it occurred. When did the first incident occur? It had to have happened. It's probably that first one from before Edgeworth was there.
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekin's being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in that evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this. Again, the big blood on the floor, too.
Very well. Then tell us, when did this first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present its evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
It's gotta be the card list. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh, the ID card record.
Officer Meekins brought the blue badger panel into the evidence room at, let's see here, 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m.
4:40 p.m. Ah! My Sharona! Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
Bro, just because he was there doesn't mean he did it. Even if he did, he would have only had 10 minutes to do the deed and then clean up after. At least with the one before it, it has 20 minutes.
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy. Drop the act, witness. It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the new luminal test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekins and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood. That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible. You know, it's not impossible. Having to sit through another 90-second ad, which will be happening to you shortly. That would mean the crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card number remaining. 7777777. Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered along with the real murderer. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 7777777.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this ASAP. Find out whose ID number is 7777777.
That's one 7 too many, Your Honor. Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the owner of that ID card. At least, at present. What? Explain yourself, son. The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with a rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. I wonder who that could be. Could it perhaps be a certain Orange District Chief of Police? You know, I'm thinking back to something that Edgeworth told us when we went to chat with him. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth brought back to his office by Gant's request. Gant's the one who called him to the evidence room in the first fucking place. It's gotta be him. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity. But that's ridiculous. Just how? I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright. There's one situation in which we can be granted such authority. An official charge is filed... If an official charge filed against an executive is accepted. An official charge? Y'all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries and your $30 haircut. That's how the prosecutor's office operates. I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate it if you would keep your slander to yourself. Slander, is it? Okay. Let me ask a question. Yes? No, not to you. To her, the little defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana? Don't be stupid. She's been charged with murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7777777. Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing. About that incident. The SL9 incident? Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. That trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence? He's showing us the real two fingers, boy. Do you need the witness to repeat his question, Chief Prosecutor? I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth. 2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial. At the time, occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Lana! I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
What I'm saying is, even though my phone has been plugged in, it's still gradually losing battery. I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't!
I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer him?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. But Lana! Even if it involved forging evidence. Oh shit. See? That's what I'm talking about.
No. No! Order, order, order!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day. To be continued.
Damn!
Looks like we got another day of investigating ahead of us. But for now, I think it's time we hit the old dusty trail. We wrangled the truth out of our dear Jake Marshall. We may have wrangled the truth, but it's like there's still so much more to do. Like, we just got told that, you know, shit has gone awry. And like, I deadass don't know what to do with myself right now. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go think on that for a while. I'm gonna go sit. By that I mean I'm gonna go bed. But first, we're gonna head off to somewhere else. We're gonna drop you guys off. Drop myself off at least for a little while. We'll go see what's going on. Let's go see who we're gonna hang out with. And I don't know. When in doubt, I think what we're gonna go do we're gonna go raid our friend Penelope. She's doing some Dead by Daylight. Looks like she's going with a friendo at the moment. So we are going to bring them over. Bring them both a to-go order. There's that. We're just gonna go hop over, say hello. Hang out, chill out, whatever, man. And in the meantime, thank you as always for coming and hanging out here at the cafe. I always appreciate your presence. And for now, you all go take care of yourselves. Whether that's getting something to eat, getting some water, getting anything to drink, taking your meds, getting some rest. You do what you gotta do to take care of yourselves, okay? We'll be back tomorrow for what I'm now titling Toss Up Tuesday with our friend Supernova. We'll see you then.